No idea.
Or something.
It's good for me. Like, if I mess it up, we'll just cut it in.
I'll keep an eye on it. All right, so I'll give you the cue.
Okay.
Right. 1.
Hey June, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better. Refrain, don't carry the world upon your shoulder. For well you know that it's a fool who plays it cool by making this world begin to make it better. And anytime you feel the pain, I should refrain. Don't carry the world. My name is John Preston, and I'm a Marine Corps veteran.
Valor Magazine sitting down with John Preston. How you doing, brother?
Like I said, I just had some fun, man. Anytime I'm here working in the studio and recording music, it's that getaway, you know. That's why this is eventually going to be career and only career, because who doesn't want the life that you love doing, you know? So it's a cool story, actually. I come from a whole family of Marines, right? So my father was a Vietnam veteran. Joined the Marine Corps back in the 60s. You know, he said he decided he was going to join the Marine Corps when he walked over to the recruiting depot and it had the shortest line. He was like, I'm not waiting, I'm just going to go to the Marine Corps. So Dad set the path for all of us. I have 2 older brothers, and we all took that path. And I remember specifically as a kid, it was like he was unintentionally implanting things into my brain. You know, he would come out, he was a Purple Heart recipient, so he would come out and hand me his Purple Heart and be like, this is, you know, the greatest accomplishment in my life, you know, because it meant so much to my father, you know, and the Marine Corps meant so much to him. So I really didn't have a choice. I remember telling my brother once I was going to join the Air Force. This is after both of them were already in. It's probably the worst whooping I took in my life. So there it was, you know, United States Marine, Parris Island graduate, and ready to romp and stomp. In 2000, this is pre 9/11. I remember 9/11 specifically. We were out on Range 400, and they called everybody together and they say, hey, our country's under attack. I remember being in this giant battalion formation and thinking to myself, this is the biggest bunch of bullshit ever. You know, that they're telling us this to get us pumped up for the range, and yeah, we were wrong, man. They started calling people from New York and New Jersey and sending them back to make phone calls. And that night, like that eerie night of looking up in the sky with no planes and realizing I got 3 years left, you know, I'm probably going to war. So that day, that time altered my entire life. It's the reason I'm here today, you know. I was with 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines. My MOS was a field wireman. I never did my job in the Marine Corps. I was a radio operator for a golf company for a long time, and then we got deployed to Iraq. I actually ran the H&S mission squad, so we were a quick react team. We went out multiple times a day, went on a full offensive during that time. The reason I'm even talking about that and what that did, because I didn't realize what it did. You know, you go into a combat zone, we go home, not everyone's with us anymore. Yeah, that's just what it is, you know. And I came back, I actually had my first music blow up while I was in Iraq. We made a video that was to a song called Good Good America.
blast overhead. I pray to God that I will live, die, America. Why don't you just let us be? All we came here to do was set you free. Good, good America. Good, good America. Die, America.
We went viral before viral existed. We were pre-YouTube and like 500,000 downloads in a day on this song. It went out to the public media. LA Times covered us and we blew up. I came back then in 2004 out of Iraq, and my focus wasn't on returning from war. My focus was on, I'm going to be a rock star. And that's what I thought was happening in life at that time at 22 years old. And I remember failing, like I signed with a record label, released a single that went nowhere, and I remember failing and thinking like life was over, and that it brought everything into like a heavier, right? I was drinking like crazy. I think I probably messed up that whole opportunity in the first place just from drinking a blackout every night, missing studio appointments, not living like I should have, and not being like I was just months prior in the Marine Corps, at formation on time, doing all the work I needed to do, motivated and driven, and it was gone. So I got out and had no idea what life was anymore. I was just gone, completely checked out from the world. And there was a thing that now is very prevalent, it's very well known, that I had no idea what it was, called post-traumatic stress, right? And I thought I was just going to be like everyone else and get in the bottle and that'll make everything go away, So I was battling pretty heavily with PTSD then. I had no idea that I was. And I lost my drive to be a musician, the one thing I love in life, the one thing that I know, no matter what, when I wake up in the morning, I have that. This is the fun part. Jude, refrain, don't carry the world upon your shoulder. For well you know that it's a fool who plays. I could do that anytime. And I quit, I stopped. I said, I'm never playing music again, I'm done. Had to refocus life. That transition alone was tough. Taking a step, right? Trying to figure out, because at that point I'm like, okay, I got to get a career. I can't, I can't just, do what I'm doing. I was an alcoholic. I was a functional alcoholic. I was good at what I was. I was good at being drunk, because I could, make the day go. And I went to school to become a firefighter. Accomplished that, within 4 years of school and interviewing and going through that entire process. Which, for the veterans trying that, it's not an easy process. You got to keep moving forward. But got a dream job, and for me, I was 2 years into that job when I realized I wasn't in my dream, I was in someone else's dream. So I took the leap again, right? We stand on the edge of the cliff and you look down and it looks scary, but you see all these people with their parachutes flying. So like, my chute should open. Why not try it, So that might be the only take we can take. Look, I got this great idea. This is what I'm going to do. This is how it's going to work. And I think the label out of pity, I was one of their first artists they ever signed back in '04, right? Said, yeah, sure, why not, dude? You know, come down, we'll record your music, you know? And I kind of showed everyone in the world that we can do whatever the hell we want to do in our life if we decide we're going to do it, you know? And that was it. I mean, fast forward 4 years, we're number 13 in the world in rock music, you know, in the top 200 for, you know, over 12 weeks. You know, I think it was 13 weeks in the top 200. Climbing to be one of the top artists in the world. You know, I have no other thought that I won't be. You know, I will be in the top 20 for a lot of years. You know, and it's purpose driven. You know, in that 4 years, so much has happened in life that I now, where at times in the beginning had doubt, know that doubt can't exist. It's not allowed to, you know, it can't. People looking from the outside might think my transition went smoothly, might look at me and go, look at John, you know, he's a rock star. It didn't, you know. It's not an easy trip. And, you know, why are we here today? What am I doing? Why is Valor Magazine coming and talking to me? I decided I was going to do something and I did it. You know, I thought I could do it and I did it. Life has sucked. You know, I quit drinking 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I guess. And you think, cool, you know, he made a decision to quit drinking. I stopped drinking because my best friend ever and my older brother and my confidant and everything that I had done in life lost his battle with post-traumatic stress and he killed himself. Yeah, and that's so cool, dude, man. Like, that's the whole thing. That's what people don't understand. We can't see it, right? The veteran that cries for help isn't necessarily the veteran that needs the help. And we as a community are super quiet. We talked about it earlier, right? That we don't speak. There's a few of us in the community right now, myself, Boone Cutler, you know, people that are loud, Daniel Alrek, that are speaking for us because we don't speak. And I did it in the beginning. When it hurt, I put it away. My brother did that for a lot of years. He put it away, and it didn't do anything. You know, it wasn't building a box and filling it with shit. Eventually, the box is going to pop. You know, and that's what happened. And I could go back and regret it. I had an opportunity, a choice then. I remember thinking, I'm done. I'm not going to play music. I was an advocate for veteran suicide publicly. Had been all over the country, had TV appearances everywhere. Music, doing amazing things, videos with hundreds of thousands, millions of views, whatever. And I wasn't there for my family. You know, at least that's how I felt, yeah. So I had an opportunity then to walk away from it and just be done. And I chose the other path. I chose the more complicated path, right? Because that's what we do. I'm a Marine. If you tell me there's an objective that needs to be taken, it doesn't matter how hard it is, right? We're going to take that objective. And we're going to lose Marines along the way, or, you know, but we're going to keep pushing forward. That's what we do. And I pushed forward. I executive produced an album that was all of us. It was a bunch of combat veterans on there. Ryan Weaver, Scooter Brown Band, just crazy names in our community, right? And I took this album and made it, what was it, number 21 on the iTunes rock charts? You know? It took me a year to get it all accomplished and to get it out after my brother's suicide, but that's what I did. You know, that was the choice I made. And I want that to be an example for all of us, right? What is post-traumatic stress? It's our box. It's the box that we carry around with us of all the shit that happened behind us. There's nothing that can be fixed in that box. That box is what it is. You know, if I have a trauma that I see in the fire department, it just goes in a box, right? It's nasty, it's gross, it's someone's legs, you know, fell off their body or whatever. But I can't fix anything in that box. The box could be mistakes, the box could be, you know, blame, guilt, whatever you feel is in that box. But if you take the box and you put it in the fucking trunk and you drive, right? You make your choice to drive. You can check your rear view for anything that's behind you, but you keep going forward, you know, and that's the example I want to set. That's what I'm doing. You know, why do I want to be number one in the world? It's cool. Yeah, why do I want to be the next, you know, massive artist like Taylor Swift or, you know, whoever? Why do I want to do that? It's cool, but it's great. It's a childhood dream. Like I said, I'm happy when I play music. But we can put one of us in our community at the top. We can show the rest of the community the path. And it doesn't have to become a rock star. You know, whatever it is in your life you want to do, we have the choice to create a path for them, to cut through these hedges, to clear it out and say, that's the way I do it. And everybody knows if they know they can just get in the car and drive instead of worrying about this and sitting here and looking at that and coming back to that. Every time I pick up a bottle, I come back to that. Every time I fucking put a needle in my arm, I come back to that. Every time I take a pill, I come back to that. Fuck the box, you know? Forward. And we do that. That's who we are as a community. We were raised to do that. We were trained to do that. We were told to do that. Don't abandon it. I abandoned it. I had a rough go, you know? And now it's forward motion to the top of the world.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better. Hey